It took me a long time to understand why the metals were such a problem in autism. And from my research, what I know is that in the family histories, they have difficulties with cell-to-cell communication, and knowing that there's a million times difference between one person's sensitivity to a heavy metal and another person's. What I figured out was that these are the children that are more sensitive to metals. But it's not an acute exposure with a large amount, like in old-fashioned lead poisoning when children chewed on paint chips or had lead lines in their legs when we did x-rays of their knees. This is a slow, tiny amount that went in at different points in time. But the overall effect is it added to where they had a genetic weakness in the ability for one cell to communicate with the other. It changes calcium signaling. They already had a weakness there. So getting the metals out helps improve the children, but it has to be done after the labs are done and the gastrointestinal tract heals. And it's not an acute exposure. It's not a high amount. It's a tiny amount. So it went in at different points in time. So it has to be, I think the best way to do it is to do it like you were peeling an onion in a slow, steady way. And if the child goes into this with adequate minerals on board, etc., we do not see regression. We see slow, steady improvement in children. But there are many ways to do that. For example, metallothionein promoter heals the child's own detoxification pathways. And in this trip to Australia, I've seen wonderful results from that in terms of the amount of metals coming out in the urine compared to what happens with using more dangerous chelating agents. So any form of metal removal has to be done after initial healing is accomplished, and it's a slow, steady process that can last from 18 months to 2 years with constant replacement of nutrients in these children. Over time, I think the big problem in autism is oxidative stress at the cell level, and what we're doing with nutrients, what we're doing by removing metals that are causing ongoing oxidative stress, all of that together would deal with oxidative stress. There are many children that recover without removing metals who have their oxidative stress treated appropriately.